I'm gonna start with one of my favorite stories because I feel like dating as a digital nomad is an underrated subject and it's really hard.
You've arrived at your destination.
If I'm being honest, I have dumped every single one of my ex-boyfriends because of traveling. I would want to travel. My ex-boyfriends were like, it's not possible for me, or I can't follow you, or I don't want to follow you. And we would always end up having to break up because you change so much when you travel and you evolve. And I felt like I would come back and I would be a completely different person. And this person has like not changed. We're so disconnected. We'd have to break up. And I knew that like I would keep doing this forever. So it wouldn't be sustainable. So I just never stayed with a guy that's like, I don't want to travel the world with you. To the point where I was single for 5 years and I was like, my next partner is going to be a hardcore traveler or I'm not even like dating you. I'm happy on my own. Screw this. So, rewind to 2020, middle of the pandemic, okay? Like hardcore pandemic. I'm single. I'm on Tinder, wasting time. And this amazing promo comes up and it's Tinder Passport. So, for anyone listening that doesn't know what Tinder Passport is, it's this amazing ability to swipe anywhere in the world. During COVID, they decided to offer it for free to anyone and everyone in the world. And it was in an act of solidarity to combat solitude. So I saw Tinder Passport being free. I was like, hell yes, jumped on it, starting to swipe like my life away, man. I was in Bali. I was in Hawaii. I was in Whistler. I was in Australia. My Tinder portfolio had never looked that international. It was amazing. So I'm swiping, I'm having the time of my life. My now boyfriend, who was in the UK at that time, also saw the Tinder offer and was like very smart because he had a 2-year visa to come to Canada. And he was like, let me start talking to girls in Canada. We matched. I was like, yes. We started talking, and yeah, this guy was really consistent, which I really like. On Tinder, there's a lot of flaky people. People would ghost you for no reason. My boyfriend was very like thorough. Like every morning, I would get a good morning text. Every end of day would be like, "How was your day? What did you do?" Like genuine interest. Fast forward to 5 months later, we are talking every single day. We are FaceTiming. We're doing Catan online, Monopoly online. Like, we are having the time of our lives. We're literally dating online. I was talking to other guys, not gonna lie, he knows this, even if he sees this. He was also talking to other girls. And COVID restrictions were getting looser. This other guy on Tinder I was talking to was like, I would love to invite you on a date now that it's safe, to meet people. Would you like to go for drinks? And I'm like, yes. So I got all dolled up, all ready. I'm in my car, literally movie scene, ready to go. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this doesn't feel right. Call the guy. I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm going to bail on you. I am talking to another guy, and I would rather stay home and do a home date with him than go on this date with you. So I came back to my now boyfriend and I was like, listen, I just canceled like a real human. Just canceled someone to speak to you. What are we gonna do about this? Like, I can't be virtual and put all my eggs in this basket, like not knowing what's gonna happen. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so relieved you're bringing this up. I would love to meet you. Let's make this happen. From that moment on, we were exclusive to each other virtually or whatever. And we started planning our first date. It was really complicated, especially for the Canadian borders. There was no way he could come here. There was no way I could go to the UK. So we were like, well, we're both travelers. Let's look around. And there's this initiative from Greece that happened, and it was called Green Line. What that meant is that people from the UK could go and travel into Greece in that really small window. It was like 2 or 3 months of time that it was open and not quarantine. And me as a Canadian, I could also go to Greece And if I had a negative PCR test, I didn't have to quarantine. So literally within 48 hours of learning about the green line, we had our ticket books and we were like, we're meeting in Greece. I really wanted to make sure that we could travel well together and that this guy was a real traveler, because that's always been an issue. Like, I didn't want to date a guy that wants to be a nomad but that's never done it. So I was like, cool, you're taking care of all the hotels and you're doing the whole entire travel itinerary. Like, I want to see what you come up with. And that was the test. I was really bluntly honest about it. And he completely blew my mind. Like, to this day, I think he would put to shame 90% of guys when it comes to dating. This is by far the most incredible trip I have ever experienced. The timing to, like, we did a car, like, we drove, so we did a road trip. He hit every single landmark, and the time that we spent in each destination was chef's kiss perfect. Like, the whole organization, every hotel, everything that he picked, oh my God, I was like blown away. He knew that I was on the Amazing Race. So, what he did when I first arrived, and this is when I knew that I was in trouble, I was gonna have feelings for this guy. I arrived in Greece 10 hours before him. He had still not sent me any hotels, anything. He was like, I'm keeping this a surprise. So I'm like, so like I'm landing in Greece and like we're homeless? Like, he's like, no, I got you. This is gonna be really cool. Trust me. So I land in Greece. He's like, call me when you land. I call him. He's like, you're gonna hop in an Uber. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna get you an Uber and I'm gonna do a virtual amazing race in Greece for you. And it was the dopest thing I've ever experienced. He had clues that I was giving the Uber driver to take me to the next destination, and he would only give me the clue if I sent a picture, like a selfie of me at like the given location that he had planned. It was absolutely amazing. So like, this guy literally entertained me for 10 hours before before he even arrives at the destination. Then wait, I get to the first hotel, right? The last clue leads to the hotel. I open the door. There's this girl. She's called Alejandra. I still remember her, and we're Instagram friends to this day. I open the door of the hotel, and she's like, Ebony, mwah, mwah, how was the race? And I'm like, how do you know me? She's like, oh, I've been talking to James for such a long time. He had been planning everything, talking to this girl. Like, she knew the whole entire story. She's like, I am so in love with your love story. I cannot. This is amazing. She had handwritten me a note in the name of Jamie for me that was waiting on the bed. She had went to pick out flowers on the bed, bottle of champagne, like everything. She was so involved in that story. She, like, literally, I opened the door of like the room and she's behind me and she's like excited, right? Because like she picked the room and she picked the flowers and she wrote the notes and she's like, oh my God, like she's just so into it. She's the cutest thing, honestly. When we get married, she's invited. She's amazing. And then she was like, relax, when you're ready, your supper is paid for by James. You can come on the rooftop. You're gonna have view on the Acropolis and watching the sunset while he arrives. Do you know, like, I called every single one of my girlfriends and I was like, I am in love. Are you kidding? I still have all the pictures, everything. I had a risotto, a glass of wine. I was looking at the Acropolis, sunset, and like I was like, this hotel is amazing. There's a little Greek DJ. I'm on the terrace, I'm having a drink. What? He arrives, we share our first kiss. I'm like, married. I'm done. Put a ring on it. I'm yours. So yeah, that was the first time I ever met my now partner. We've been together for 4 years, traveling the world together for 4 years, and it's it's still the best first date travel story of my life.
Wow, wow. I think so. This is a largely male audience podcast. Boys, take notes. Take notes. He's special. Take notes. You set the bar pretty high, but no, James, does he want to organize my uh, my honeymoon?
Hire James. Honestly, if James was to start a business where he teaches men how to like court women, I think we'd be millionaire because I'm like, you don't even know how special for girls things like that are. Like, and this wasn't even him being romantic. He was just like, I mean, you said you wanted like a nice trip, and I was like, yeah, but whoa.
You've arrived at your destination.